おはようございます。実況は国パイロットです。今週も、フライトシミュレーターコミュニティですねの公式のイベントに参加しています。日本時間朝、土曜日の朝4時、エクストラ 330L で飛ぼうと思いましたが、よく考えたら私にはスピットファイアがあります。今日もまた、ホーネットが来ますね。ムスタングもいます。一機スピットファイアもどっかにいたような気がしたけどな。スピットファイアも一機いますね。今、おすすめエクストラの330おすすめだったし、乗りやすいので結構乗ってますね。 XBOX のリバリーですね。リトルロックというところからセントルイスに飛ぶのかな。どっちから出発かちょっとわかんないですけど、ウィキペディアで昨日調べてきました。どこが全然場所かわからないので、スピットファイヤーをね、アップデートが昨日来てましたよ。昨日はなんかアップデート祭りで F-15 もアップデートされてたし、パッと乗った感じではね、ちょっとなんかいくつかバグもあるみたいなんですけど、すごいゆっくり飛べるようになってましたね。これに今まで苦渋を飲まされていた FA18 や、他の戦闘機と編隊着陸するときについていけるかもしれないですね。スピットファイヤーね、いいですよ。これ何がいいかって言ってね、気がついたんですけど、スピットファイヤーってね、ここの四角の部分がドアになってるんですけど、これ開けるんですよ。すげえ。出た時はね、キャノピーが開きっぱになってます。これもなんかちょっと開放感があって気持ちがいいです。パーキングブレーキ外してないとえらいことになるんですよ。あっという間に前に倒れ込んじゃって。昨日ちょっとウィキペディアで調べましたよ。場所がどこかって。アメリカの大体真ん中からね、ちょっと南東に行ったところで、アーカンソー州とミズーリ州だったかなの、それから両方とも州都ですね。今朝はマーケットプレイスもういきなりひっくり返ってるすぐひっくり返っちゃうんですよね、この飛行機。さあ行きますか。前見えないけど、今コックピット開いたままになってるので行きますよ。
Imagine there was jet blast on the Pelican. That'd be insane.
Yeah. Glad there is.
Yeah, I mean, Wake Turbulence's model in Reno Air Racing mode is not modeled in regular multiplayer mode, so it'd be so easy to troll other players if you had to deal with Wake Turbulence and jet blast.
Or at least a toggle something to quickly turn on and off.
Yeah. Well, that is an absolutely gorgeous interior. I love the interiors.
パワーが高い、強いからね。で、プロペラの飛行機はプロペラの方向反対なんで左右が
I think that the best part of this is, first of all, you have a panoramic view
対象じゃないんです
but you
よ
also have
ね。
the little windows at the top. So if you were to do a really sharp turn, which you shouldn't do in this type of plane, you really get a
飛んだ。
perfect
綺麗離陸だ。 今飛んだ。はい、いやー、フラップはもともと上げてないな。さあ、じゃあ窓を閉めますか。窓を閉めるというか、ちょっとしたオペレーションがなんか楽しいですね。
While flying on stream is the community flying channel. You have to scroll down to the event section and you'll be able to have a voice chat there. In chat, there's 21 people in there, and there's a little chat icon next to the title on that same channel if you want to have access to the chat text for the voice channels.
MKH なんだよな、この飛行機。ムスタング。 最優秀戦この前乗りましたけど、ちょっと燃料が重いと、燃料のせいか分かりませんけど、ちょっと操縦しにくいっていうか、安定性のあんまり良くない飛行機でしたね。
Someone are asking us what
because there is some resemblance with the Wing 42 247D, for example, with some of the
ちょっと油断するとすぐに抜いちゃう。地図だ
It's
そ
an
う。
interesting mix of vintage and modern avionics.
あ、お化けになっちゃった、ごめん。JU52。ああ。
And truly first
文
class
化スの52かな。
luxury accommodations.
気に見えますね。
Don't think the Beach 18 is certified for aerobatic flight.
これね、なんかバックファイヤーするのがパカンパカン、エンジンの排気管からね、あれが出るんですよ。ちょっと窓開けて開放的な感じで飛びますかね。
I mean, this thing also pushes quite hard. I mean, you can go 180 knots before you get into the...
Today, I'm sure most of you have already got it. It's a very small bug fix. What happened with the US World Update, we got more accurate elevations data for the entire United States at airports.
なんかこれが一番スピットファイヤーっぽい気がするので。の3機スピットファイヤー。これは何でしょう、銀色の飛行機かな。
Came out this morning, very small patch, and that resolves that issue.
残念な
Hey,
が
you
ら
can fly at any altitude you like. I'm personally at 3,500. Peter, Cookie, Papa, what about
残念ながらなんだ
I'm frightened of the pilot, but I'm about
用
to
途すぐ忘れちゃうな。
500.
ああ、そうか。残念ながらプロペラが回ってるように見えませんね。
switch over to my point of view again, disable my autopilot and descend. Protests
マーク
from
9ですね。
racist
スピッ
people
トファイヤーマー
who
ク
black
9。
students
本
and
当
the
に
side role it played in the
メ
civil
ット
rights
ルロッ
movement.
クってあんまり聞いたことがない年だったんですけど、アーカンソー州っていう聞いたことがあるような
There's a
ない
bunch
よ
of
うな
pelicans that
聞い
have
たこ
landed
と
all
は
over
だ
the
けはあり
place.
ますけど、場所はあんまり知らなかったですけど、アーカンソー州の、州都です。
Cookie?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Well,
landing right on top of the
people-
school.
なんていうのかな。
That reminds me
悲しい
of,
事件があって。
I don't know if anyone remembers this, the Pepsi Points commercial from the 90s when they had a you could redeem Pepsi points in one of the in the commercial.
NVIDIA で調べると
was a Harrier jump jet.
なんかリトルロック事件みたいなのが出てくるんですよ。
Anyone remember that?
1950何年だったのか、57年だったかな。
Yeah, well, someone
今
found
から
out
ま
that
だ
you could
100年
buy
は経ってない。戦後
for like
ちょっと
a
経っ
penny
た
a
後
point
の
or
感
10
じ
cents a point or something.
Right.
And they figured out that
です
the
ね。
that the Harrier jump jet was advertised for was significantly cheaper. Yeah, APOG is not here. Significantly cheaper than the purchase price
で、ア
of
メ
an
リ
actual
カは
Harrier jump jet. And so they got a bunch of investors to
人種差別の
go
撤
in
廃
with
の
it
ために
buy a
高
bunch of
校
Pepsi
生を
points
ね
and then try to redeem their points for the Harrier jump
白
jet.
人と黒人
And
同
then
じ
when
高
Pepsi
校で
refused
通
to
わせ
honor
る
this
っ
because
て
they
い
said that
う
was just a joke and it was obviously a
ことに
joke
決め
and
た
no
んですけ
reasonable
ど、
person would think that we'd give away a military fighter plane as a prize.
この
They
アー
sued
カンソー
Pepsi.
州っていうところの知事はそれに反対
Nice
し
try,
て
though. They tried.
州の軍隊を、
Wow.
出動させて
Muhu, this is Little Rock, Arkansas.
その黒人の生徒9人いたらしいんですけど、9人をの投稿を阻止しようとします。で、その市長がアメリカ大統領、当時の大統領は
Alright, first touch and go
アイゼンハワー
landing
大
for us
統
is
領
going to
だ
be
ったら
at
しい
Kilo
です。
Lima Romeo.
アイゼンハワー大統領は州の政治にあまり口出しするのは、政治問題を引き起こすので好ましくないっていう姿勢だったんですけど、
bunch of fun facts. Oh yeah, you know,
アメリカ
if this
合
is your
衆
first
国
time
の
watching
軍隊を出し
Toulouse,
て、その黒人生徒を
we explore the world
保
together
護しながら、
every week.
学校
You
に
know,
通
today we're
わ
in the
せ
United
ること
States
にしまし
because
た。
we just recently released World Update 10 for the United States. We wanted to show off some of the new scenery. But we do try to showcase all different regions, all different countries from all continents, and
なんだろ
try
う
to share a lot of facts and trivia and history and culture and food for all the different places in the world that we travel. I saw someone out in In addition, we also made 2
announcements エンジンが
on
壊れた
Sunday. One of which is already out, and you've seen it before, which is the Halo Pelican. A lot of you were even flying that today.
この飛行機難しいな
And in addition, we also announced coming later this year for free as a big update in November, Microsoft Flight Simulator 40th Anniversary Edition. Again, this is a zero-cost upgrade to all existing Flight Sim players. And what do you get? Well, there's 9 aircraft that have been announced. By popular demand, we're adding 2 helicopters and, of course, official support for helicopters to the sim. We're also adding 2 gliders and official support for gliders to the sim. And all of that is coming for free. And then in addition to that, we're bringing back some fan-favorite planes from earlier...
Wait, to what?
本当にいい飛行機だ
We
な
are going to Kilo Alpha Romeo Golf, right?
燃料級は
I'm currently escorted by an F-18, so...
Oh, not just. You're swarmed.
フィエル
I'm
あれ
swarmed.
かな
Yeah, there's quite a couple of planes.
なんかのパラダックスを思い出すね人間の半分の亀半分のスピードの亀かなんかが歩いていて後ろから人間が追いかけていて亀の位置にずっと届いた頃にはその半分の距離を亀が前に進んでいてまた人間が亀の位置に届いた時には亀はまたちょびっと先を繰り返していると永遠に人間は追いつかないのではないかという変なパラドックスですけどねこれはこの方法で時間を進めていくと到着の時間にまたパンパン言い始めたどうすればいいんだパンパン言い始めたちょっとフルパワーで飛ばしすぎなのかな
Captain Arash, I saw you were in chat earlier. You did an unboxing of a Boeing TCAU. You're still here, Captain Arash. Let me know what you thought of that after trying it.
また落ち始めた
for a lot more airplanes and also the Boeing.
Either Z2 or Z2, I don't know the
この
type
飛
of
行機
traffic.
はエン
This
ジ
is
ン
from
コント
Epidemic
ロールのや
Sound,
り方がよくわ
which
かん
is
ない
a royalty-free music
前はもっ
service
と
for
気楽に飛べ
streamers
たような
and
気がしたんだけど
So we can play this strong micro.
また
is
墜
all
落
the
す
developers
る
who've got friends. Is that right?
や
Yes,
め
they do a lot of
メ
great
イン
stuff.
メニュー
Check out some of their add-ons and you get something
でも
absolutely
150
remarkable.
ノットぐらいなら飛べると思うこの新しい新生 F-15 な
Yeah,
ら
me too. Landing, by the way. Not to pat myself on
150
the
ノ
back
ットぐらいでも安定してる
Flight event. Well, thank you so much, Fly Lilo. Once again, anyone who missed the earlier announcement, do check out Fly Lilo's Twitch channel. He is a quadriplegic flight on an English
だい
translation
ぶ
of
ゆ
the
っくり
website.
飛べるようになりましたからね
What you
FA18 にもついていけるので
Yeah,
は
but
ない
I'm
か
fine.
やっぱ愛機はいいね
I mean, I guess there's so much more care when you know it's your plane and you pay the maintenance and you pay for absolutely everything.
Oh, but I mean, I keep it all within the envelope, right? So I only descend within the white band when putting down flaps and stuff like that, and I'll slip it only when I have sufficient airspeed and stuff like that. But I do my descents. No, it's actually more of a lack of preparation. I find myself often too high because I'm not descending soon enough.
タッチンゴあいかん車輪出すの忘れとった
Chimera has better
この
suit
人
the
についてい
local
くか
bodies, where the restaurants were looking. So it's American style Chinese cuisine is just as much Chinese as
Flying.
114. You should be cruising at like 170 or 180.
It's 130 miles for me.
Flying like a rental, Peter. Full throttle.
Yeah, but that's 160. So
でもイーグルも相当遅く飛べるようになりましたからね体調にだいぶついていけるようになったと思いますよすごい飛行機だ嬉しいなやっぱりイーグル最高
Minecart does that, and when you're not applying too much
like that in real life flying anyways, especially in small planes or
small planes is like on a good day it's like driving a Lada on a really bad sand road. You'll get shaken your teeth out.
また名人が来たこの前の人と一緒かどうかはわかんないけど超名人が
Yeah, not only that, but Paramount Pictures, the company that made Top Gun Maverick, they consulted and hired a real engineer, a real aerospace engineer from Lockheed Skunk Works obviously the Dark Star is a fictional plane, but they hired a professional aeronautical engineer to say if this was a real plane, what would it look like and how would it behave? And so, it is a fictional plane, but it's been brought to the screen and then it also brought to Microsoft Flight Simulator in the most realistic way possible.
ネイティブアメリカンの信じる神様サンダーバードの描かりであるんですよ。アメリカ空軍の競技飛行チームですね。アメリカ海軍もで3検体マーベリックはでもいないな。マーベリックはやっぱりあれなのかな、乗るのみんなちょっと恐れ多いのかな、フライトシミュレーターファンは。
A design however you like it. It needs to be legit, but you don't need to worry about the little details, the little issues that could arise, with this. If your temperature's a little too high or a little too low, well, you could say it's rough enough and it works.
我が US Air Force の花
this is 100% true, you can look this up, is a different thickness on the ground compared to when it's at altitude going Mach 3.
And you say which plane is that?
The SR-71 Blackbird.
Yeah.
They couldn't get it. They couldn't get the seals durable enough to last long enough, so they just didn't bother with seals. And that said, let it leak and we'll refuel.
Just put a plastic bottle. It's fine.
Yo, to get Dark Star.
So like immediately after, yes, it has to fly at maximum thrust to get up to altitude, but some of it because it's actually leaking because the airframe itself expands and contracts.
As DNH says, just put some duct tape. It's fine. I'll be fixed.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
I mean, you need
おお、でっかいのが来たけど、これでっかい飛行機じゃないんだろうな、きっと。見えないだけで。
Great question. I personally have not been to Oshkosh yet. It's one of my where you can fly into Oshkosh, do the famous
このペースで飛べるようになったっていうのはだいぶ違うの。
With real life Oshkosh controllers. And so check our dev update, Inquest, if you're around. If you can put a link to that in chat, it'd be appreciated. They have a YouTube trailer that they put out, and we have events. Thank you, Papa. There's the link where you can sign up and figure out how to protect afternoon nap.
Yes, I have.
And I wrote back to her on Twitter. I was like, "You are a monster."
Oh.
I love that because it's so true. No matter the pet, they'll find a way to bother you. Like I have two budgies. You'd be like, okay, well, it's little birds, it's fine. But in the morning, they just start chirping super loudly. If you're on the other side of the house, you can hear them. And there's just nothing you can do about it. As soon as they hear birds outside, they'll just start screaming, chirping loudly. It's insane. That can obviously be tweaked. Like I don't see a reason that this would stay.
I would like a bit of momentum going, but at the moment it's one-on-one.
Hey.
Maybe it's also kind of connected more closely to the game and how it behaves in the games. I don't know how they had to work that out.
I would have expected more helicopter-like behavior, so that you have to counter a bit, and then But,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, modern flight computers are able to just have it really move staccato with your joystick. They can do that, but it would, for me, it would be a bit more believable. In quotes.
プロペラが見えないのはちょい残念だけどなかなかええの。
Yeah, you can't look stuff behind the
FSR.
Yeah, it's
Yay.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys on my screen here. This is a real plane from the 1960s called the X-22, and a lot of dropships from Halo, but also other dropships from Aliens, very famously, Starship Troopers, Starcraft. A lot of various different science fiction franchises. Avatar would be another one. Have dropships that look very reminiscent of the X-22, which was a real plane.
Both the Stagger Wing and the Model 18.
But I really do like the Model 18. That's an awesome little, awesome big thing actually.
Will you replace that with your favorite being the PC6?
38ちょっと見たいけどな、高いな。アトムキャットだ。
So in
PC6 is still your favorite, Peter?
The Milfis one, yeah.
お、すげえかっこいい。
That's an interesting conversation you can have.
黒いトムキャットとやっぱリバリー持ってなくてもリバリーは転送されて見えるんだ
I
な。
make the most hours in the Airbus H125 helicopter.
Really?
Yeah.
うさぎさんリバリーじゃん。やるなトムキャット。
Like we did apply that in the end.
ラグだったか。
I even got a proper collection.
ラグゴーストだった
I'm a
か。
single engine GA guy.
But I gotta say, my favorite is still the Twin Otter. That thing is a beast. Because I do a lot of flights in the mountains. I have to land on small strips very often, so like the Twin Otter is just the perfect mix for that. Though the Kodiak's also very close, so it's always a bit difficult. But Twin Otter it is. What about you, Papa?
For GA, I've been flying Twin Otter as well. I like it a lot. But I'm an airliner guy. I'm a sucker for
もう最高じゃな。あの赤い飛行機もいいね。あれはエアレースのやつに入ってた飛行機だな。
technological things.
Which one?
The last couple of flights have been with the Phoenix A320.
悪くないじゃん。すげえ飛行機の。超楽しい。
And really looking forward to the A320.
And didn't necessarily want to fly the default A320 because we've seen it plenty of times. So some people might be a little bored of exactly seeing an A320. I know the A310 is not that different, but it's still different in the cockpit. It's really a different style. So maybe it could be something that could be interesting to bring some people more into the airliner world without never spending money on it and getting a good look at how everything works. Such a different logic.
It's a lot more old school, right?
Yes. Yes. So it can only get better if you then go with one of the PMDG 737s as they come out, or maybe we'll hear from Quality Wings at some point for the 787. Then the 777s. Maybe the A380 from Fly-by-Wire. There's just so many. Very exciting.
So Redbox asks, is there any truth that the Milviz DHC-2 is going to be the 40th anniversary update? Well, the 40th anniversary update includes 5 free planes, one of which is a DHC-2 Beaver. And Milviz is one of the third-party devs that has been contracted by Microsoft to develop planes. I'm not sure if we've said specifically which one of the 5 they're developing or not yet. I can't. I don't want to comment on that in case I get it wrong. Certainly, any builds with the A310 is one that's public knowledge at this point.
But it stands to reason that there's a Beaver. And Milvis has a Beaver. But yeah, I'm not sure. It might be another one.
So, RJ Frank, that's an interesting point. You think the Pelican is ruining the realism of the multiplayer experience. Yes, let me...
What realism?
Like, here I am, not a Pelican in sight. But we've got all these planes flying in tight formation. No one's paying attention to any kind of air regulations. No one's keeping proper separation. So this is fine to you, but the Pelican is what, that's the bridge too far? That seems very strange to me.
I see a 747 at 2500.
I can respect it if you don't want the Pelican. You can remove it from the community, not community folder, from your...
Just don't download it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most people probably download it to see what it was, right? And yeah, just uninstall it and you won't have it.
すげえゆっくり飛べるようになったイーグル。
A Bonanza.
全然ちゃう。
As you will see with any other third-party plane that you don't have, which are probably a lot.
でもこの前と違って綺麗なフォーメーションは組んでないな。
Yeah, I have good hopes to see maybe at some point in the future, maybe a system where the marketplace, for example, would have some kind of demo system where you'd be able to see maybe a lower resolution version of the plane or something, either to test it yourself or to see through traffic through other people. There's so many possibilities.
That would still be then user initiated, right? Because I would hate to, for events like this, when I would fly around, that my computer would download all these low poly versions of all these planes around. It would go completely choke up my bandwidth probably.
Well, I mean, you're already streaming scenery, weather. There's so many things you're streaming.
Yeah, but I mean, then the fact that other people are going to...
Because what I'm seeing is at some point, with the AI planes that we're going to have, we know that Microsoft is currently working on getting all the AI planes, all the liveries for all the airlines and all that stuff, right? So all the manufacturers, all the airlines. There could be a very simplistic way of connecting that, not just for AI planes, but substituting planes that you don't have as multiplayer. That would be
like,
awesome.
But then, so that would be fine with official quotes planes.
Well, I mean, they're an AI library for the planes that are going to be just AI planes, right? They've been licensed.
That's fine.
They're sitting there. So would assume maybe have a version for that. We don't know the library of plane manufacturers that Microsoft has on that. There's been very little details because it's such a large piece of work that needs to be done on this, on top of the licensing and performance degradation that could occur with all these models. But it'd be interesting, you know, if you have, you know, a TBM, kind of not generic, but you know, some kind of go-to backup. If you know,
for the
instead of seeing the
700,
Bonanza,
800.
well, at least instead of seeing the default airliner, you know, with a pointy nose, at least maybe you get some nice curved wings like the Dreamliner would be, or you know, things like that. That'd be fun.
Point in case there's the default airliner.
But that's all speculation so far. I'm sure CD knows some of this, but just can't tell us.
Well, we release as much information to the community as we can, as soon as we can. And if we're not commenting on something, it's because we're not authorized to speak to that yet.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, it makes sense, right? It's work in progress.
Like, for example, the Pelican was a big surprise. I don't think anyone in the community saw that coming.
No.
When it was announced on Sunday.
We on the team have known about that
at least 9 or 10 months ago. Because that's the lead time, if not longer than that, to be honest, that was coming. You know, it's a big surprise.
アメリカ陸軍はね、戦闘機はね、F なんちゃらじゃないんですよ。P っていうのはパーシュートかなんかで追跡機とかっていう他の飛行機を追跡していく飛行機っていう意味です。
You can't win with that. Because then they would argue, then okay, if it's already available, then why didn't you mention it earlier? Because clearly you knew it earlier. But if you announce it earlier, the argument is why do we have to wait so long?
Yeah.
So you can't win that.
No, we have
it's free. I wouldn't complain about anything that's free. And if you do, then
have you seen?
I mean, check your priorities. Yes, of the hobby or the community, it's going to be all over the world. You're always going to have, you know, that percentage. And it's fine. I mean, people can voice their opinions. That's the whole point of the forums. Is so there's feedback.
We knew, trust me, we knew that not everyone was going to like the Pelican.
Maybe.
And if you don't like it, don't download it. Don't fly it. No one's forcing you to think the Pelican is
あの人は背面飛行の人だ。
Take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Even if you're not personally into it, it still helps you.
With Phantom in a serious environment, you can have the more relaxed way of flying as well. General aviation, VFR. You know, we've done. You know, CD, you've done a lot of stuff. I think that's really the end goal.
So, speaking for me personally, I'm a real-life licensed pilot, but I fly GA in real life. You know, I fly Cessnas and Pipers, and that's what I enjoy flying in the Sims. You know, similar to what I know. I have zero interest in airliners. You know, second, I've got the Gateway Arch in sight.
Oh.
Everyone get ready. We're all going to fly underneath the Gateway Arch.
I'm still 23. I'm still 23 miles out. I'm fine.
This is going to be a lot of fun. I don't know if anyone's able to set up a drone.
こいつをくぐりたいのか。そうか、これをくぐるのが今日の目的だったか。くぐる。まず一回。
That was awesome.
Wow, that is fun. Oh, and of course.
Yeah, of course we have a Pelican parked on top of it.
Is that holding? Yeah, I'm starting to see the city skyline down there.
Yeah, and there below me, that baseball stadium, that's Busch Stadium, home of the St. Louis Cardinals of Major League Baseball. Historically, after the New York Yankees, the second most successful professional baseball team in the majors. And here we are in St. Louis, Missouri. And I'm going to guess, I probably should have looked this up in advance. This is the Missouri River that we're flying over right now that runs through St. Louis?
Mississippi River.
The Mississippi, really?
Yes. That thing is quite long.
Yeah.
So about the complexity, my son argued a few days ago that sim flying is more complex than real flying. Because apart from the whole real flying thing, you actually also have to do the sim. You also have to master the sim.
It's more like the interface, right?
With camera viewpoints, with which buttons to push, how to move around with the camera, how to control the weather, how to control all the stuff. It's more than just. So you have to fly if you want to do it properly. You have to fly like in real life, and on top of that, you have to actually master this program as well. And I found that an interesting way of.
うまいこと宙返りでくぐれんもんじゃの。
The Gateway Arch, the ground it sits on, and I think I'm true. I think I'm correct on this. I believe is actually considered a national park in the United States, and by area, it is the smallest national park in the United States. Is anyone able to in chat? Is anyone able to confirm that? I think that is true, but I think the Gateway Arch is actually technically a national park.
Google. I mean,
Yeah,
big.
ここであれしたら落ちる。
Oh, okay. We got DNH is confirming that, and just Daniel YT says a St. Louis native and confirms it as well. Excellent.
4回。
Well, look at the shadow it's casting.
Gateway Arch National Park is the smallest designated national park.
I see someone saying it is the Mississippi River. I mean, I'm on Google Maps here. I do see that the Mississippi River.
I definitely wanted to end our
み
flight
んなもうくぐるの
today
にも
here
飽
in
きたか
St. Louis, Missouri,
ね。
and flying underneath the Gateway Arch. Again, something you would never do in real life because it's unrealistic and dangerous, and you'd be violating the airspace of a national park. And Las Vegas, yeah. I mean, well, where did they formerly play when they were in St. Louis, though? Oh, it's the Edwards Jones Dome, of course. Yeah, the greatest show on turf. That's right. They played indoors.
I'm now at
We're still on medium finals. Yeah, the Rams moved to LA, and then the Raiders moved to Vegas. Not sure what's going to happen first: Peter flying under the arch, or me landing my plane. I think Peter's going to beat me by a minute. Very nice, Peter. All right, switching over to my POV because I'm on short final. Guys, once again, thank you so much for joining us for Community Fly-In Friday. Hope everyone got to admire some of the new scenery from World Update 10 USA. In particular, the highlight of today's show was the St. Louis Arch, the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. But also, we talked about the high school in Little Rock, which had a very important role to play in American history during the civil rights movement back in the late 1950s. Hope you guys learned something about that as well. We'll be back next week for another Community Fly-In Friday. Same time, same place. And hope just as many, if not more, will join us for that. I think Jane will be back next week as well. It should be exciting. She won't be on vacation any longer.
No.
A lot of you are saying it was your first flying and you had a great time. Well, that's awesome. We're always welcoming new people, and really glad you enjoyed it this week. Like we say, we do this every single week. So hope you'll be back, and we'll see you again soon. Peter, I switched over to you, or Cookie, are you down yet?
Yeah, that'd be me. I'm zooming through, trying to get through, now slowing down.
Okay, yeah, looks like Cookie's first. Then Peter.
Runway in sight.
Yeah, it's difficult to try and land quickly with tail dragger.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Well, yeah, it'll be fine.
So I got a question, and I know there's going to be some of you out there. Do we have any Halo fans in chat? I played Halo 1 to 3 like 20 years ago, or 15 years ago. Most of Halo takes place in space, but there are some levels that take place on Earth, right? Aren't there some that are in Kenya, like Mombasa or something as a location in Halo? Anyone know in chat?
Landing gear down.
I'm thinking maybe we could do a Halo themed flight in the Pelican, flying over Kenya next week. We'll see. Stand by.
I'm in.
Residential, hello to you. Welcome. I wonder. I legit wonder if we could get the rights to play the Halo theme.
That'd be interesting.
Like honestly, I'm not sure. This is something, you know, I work for Microsoft Flight Sim, but this is something that's like above my pay grade. It's like legal stuff knows and licensing. Who owns that theme? The composer or Microsoft?
Completely.
The composer owns the composition.
Yeah. So we may, even though we're Microsoft, we may not be licensed to play that.
Probably are.
I mean, you just probably want to get permission before triggering the automatic stuff. Ooh, there we go. We're on the ground.
It's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission, right?
Not sure that's how it works in real life.
I want to go over to Peter's point of view for his landing, and then we'll sign off.
So you hear the gear horn.
It's so much better when I can see your cockpit in your camera. My immersion is peak.
For Peter.
Oh, you mean my background? Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna do that every day from now.
Good.
Every flight.
Yeah, I think some people got fooled.
Long Haul Skies has got an interesting comment here. It says, get Jorg to make some calls. He probably knows Cortana. Let me tell you something, Long Haul Skies. If you saw the video with Jorg at the Smithsonian that we aired a couple days ago, he was wearing a flight jacket, and his call sign was, is it Mercy? M-U-R-S-I, or Mercil? Something like that? I can't remember. Something like that, though. But
Group of GA here.
I probably didn't have my tail wheel locked, which doesn't help.
well, everyone, we're a little bit over time. We're 20 minutes late. My apologies. We're going to sign off here. Hope everyone had a good time today on Community Fly-In Friday. Hope everyone's enjoying the new World Update 10, Local Legend 5, and the Halo Pelican. And then, of course, the 40th Anniversary Edition coming in November. The big announcement we made last weekend. We'll see all of you again, same time next week for Community Fly-In Friday. Signing off, this is CDL. See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
あ、これ新しいリバリーだ。消えた。おしまいだ。じゃあ皆さんお疲れ様でした。じゃあ、皆さんさようなら。また来週。